on a second. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. Just kind of set it up. Get a little overly dramatic just to let you know we're about to do some ghost talk right now. Okay. 93.1 KISS FM is Mike and Tricia Mornings. And here we are. The results of Ghost Hunt My Home. Paranormal research investigations looked into the stuff going on at Angela's house. If you recall, when we spoke to Angela, when she wrote in, she talked about dark figures. Mm-hmm. She talked about a closet and her kids not really digging that closet.
Yeah.
Talked about seeing an older woman in a chair.
Who looked like she was going to scream.
About to scream and say, "Cierra la puerta," is my guess, but we don't know that for sure. So Ramiro and Emily. Emily is the feeler of the group.
She's the empath,
they call her.
She's not a feeler.
Feeler is layman talk for empath because she feels things.
She does.
And Ramiro is very comprehensive, when he does these investigations. I mean, look at just the first page alone. Everything that went on that night, all the teams that he employed, all the fancy equipment that he used. Ramiro even documents the air conditioner being turned off, the room temperature, all those things he does because they all mean something, when you're trying to figure things out, when you're trying to make a determination, if it's the water heater, if it's electrical.
Yep.
Am I right, Ramiro?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of what we have to do when you go through these things. You have to, identify possible extraneous noises, things going on in the background.
That's why we use Ramiro and his crew, because there are so many people out there now with the internet, with everybody having a camera, with everybody being able to start any channel on YouTube. Mm-hmm. There are so many people that think, oh, I'm going to be a ghost hunter. And then all they do is show up at places and point a camera, and they don't take into consideration that there are other reasons for noises.
Right, like air conditioners and fans and
not
things
everything
like
is a ghost.
Exactly. And not everybody is a feeler.
That's right.
Not everyone's a feeler.
Apologies to Emily's husband here. Wasn't my term.
It's layman term.
I'll send you Mike's picture later, okay?
I know. Mike can be reached at mike@ksii.com.
Just like EVP. Nobody knows what that is.
Nope.
Ghost said something.
That's right. GSSs.
Everybody understands that.
Yep.
And there are so many ghosts saying something at Angela's house. Now, before we get to specifics, do you feel like it's more than one thing going on there, or is it just one thing going to different rooms?
When we first started, and like I told you on the documentation, we broke it up into two teams for the specific purpose to see if the first team would encounter the same thing as the second team would. And when we first walked in there, for me, I didn't really feel anything, but one of the other team members, Jackie, felt a certain heavy presence or heaviness in the house. So as we continued on to the first team, we started picking up cold spots. And we identified them as being about waist level. So at first we're thinking, okay, we're dealing with possibly a child here.
Okay.
But it seemed to pop around. And every time we walked into a room, it was like we detect a cold spot. And it would move. It would just disappear. Almost like it was trying to divert or distract us. So the more we continued, the more it's like, well, is this really a child? And then I cautioned the first team, this might be somebody in disguise. When Emily came in on the second team, she didn't know anything about what we had encountered in the first, to the first half of the evening.
And you do that on purpose.
Exactly. I want to get unbiased opinions, unbiased observations.
Right.
So when she came in, she started picking up on things that kind of related to what we were experiencing, but also other things as well.
Now let's start with Angela's bedroom.
Okay. We went in there, and I think Emily can best describe it as...
For me, it felt very peaceful. Unlike the rest of the house. Now, the rest of the house, you can definitely tell that there's something weird about it, but her bedroom is completely different. It doesn't feel like it's in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Here's a clip of a ghost saying something. More like, I don't know, I guess you would call it a sigh? I don't know. We report, you decide. But here's a clip that was recorded in Angela's bedroom. You might hear something. Listen for a noise between it's calm and, well, you know it's behind me.
It's calm.
Oh, you know, it's behind me.
Did you hear it? What were y'all referring to, by the way?
There was a cold spot that Angela felt right behind her, and it was typical of what we were encountering that night. She would feel a cold spot behind her, so when I would go to check, because we have a special device that registers not only EMF levels, but the temperature as well.
Oh,
And it does sound like a sigh. Here, let me isolate it.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that?
Wait. Oh,
Yeah. Let me isolate it and enhance it.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely hear that.
Let me isolate it, enhance it, and work on the hiss reduction. Now you really hear it.
And the thing is that we were in there, none of us heard it, and it came in front from a camera that was stationed in the corner of the bedroom. So, if somebody, if recorded that, they would have to have been standing directly in front of the camera.
Okay.
And of course, we're at the very minimum, we're 6 feet away.
Okay.
So if it was somebody there, our other cameras that we had, we wear body cams as well, kind of what like in law enforcement wears, so we can get a first-person observation, so that if somebody does sigh, then that camera will capture it as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So, we look at different perspectives when we're investigating, and we take multiple camera angles. And when it doesn't show up on two body cams, but it shows up on the stationary camera,
Okay.
and it's kind of, it makes us sit up and take notice.
We'll take you down to the mother's bedroom.
Okay.
Here's another clip of a GSS.
Oh, there's a step up. Please open.
Oh.
Did you hear that at the very end? Now, you were there, Emily, right, in this one? Were you in the mother bedroom?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, this is the clip again.
Oh, there's a step up. Please open.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
At the very end?
Totally.
What do you think it says?
Oh, that totally says can't.
It can't, right?
Yeah.
That's the word can't.
Please open.
Yeah.
Okay, now what is it referring to? Does anybody have an idea what that thing meant when it said can't?
Yeah, so we were actually getting ready to walk into the mother's bedroom at that time, and I was like saying like, hey, can we go over here? Like, my attention's being drawn over here. And then we capture that on camera.
Oh,
Can't.
can't.
Oh, wow. Like you were being
Oy.
told you can't go there.
Correct, yeah.
Oh,
man.
wow. Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the bedroom where Angela's mother had seen that apparition of a female sitting in the chair, like she was trying and opening her mouth to scream.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and
This
what-
was the place?
that's correct, in the bedroom there, and the fascinating part was that I never told Emily where it happened in that room. I didn't even know where exactly it happened in that room until Angela told the first team. I didn't pass that information on to Emily. So when Emily showed up, into that room, she immediately walked to that spot. They don't have the chair there anymore.
Yeah. I remember she told us they got rid of it.
Oh, yeah. I
Yes.
would have too.
And Emily immediately walked to that spot where the chair was at, where that female apparition had been seen.
Oh, my gosh.
What did you feel when you walked there?
So actually when I first came into the room, I was drawn to that side of the room, like in front of the closet, because I felt like somebody likes to come in and watch I didn't even know whose bedroom it was at the time. And I felt like somebody comes in and likes to watch them sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, don't watch me sleeping, please.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
So the feeler detected the watcher.
I know, right? Okay, so do you have any idea of why they want to watch them sleep?
No, I don't.
It's just something that they like to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
And what were you drawn to that this said can't to?
Well,
Do
it
you
was
recall?
It was just going into that room. We were outside of that room, and I was like, we need to go into this room. I feel like something's in this room. And immediately I went to that spot, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely here. It feels like somebody watches the person in his bed sleep. And so, yeah, that's...
Oh,
wow.
God.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the son's bedrooms.
Okay.
Including the one with that closet where supposedly, allegedly, the homeowners, they feel like there's something in that closet.
Yeah.
Next on Mike and Tricia Mornings.
Mike and Tricia Mornings. 93.1 KISS FM.
Okay, results of Ghost Hunt My Home. Angela's home ghost hunted a couple of weeks ago. Ramiro and Emily from Paranormal Research Investigations are here to break it down. We've moved on to the son's bedroom. Which son was this, the closet bedroom or the non-closet bedroom?
It was the non-closet bedroom, and one of the things that Angela did not tell me at all, either when I reached out to her or in her letter that she sent in, was that when we walked in there, the first team, of course, we didn't feel really much of anything other than cold spots. When we walked in with Emily, Emily right away pointed to the son has some toy figurines on a shelf there. She immediately pointed out a toy figurine, and she's asking, "Is this one fall off, or does it, keep getting knocked out?" And Angela, I mean, I was surprised. Angela confirmed, "Yeah, that's what happens."
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that
man.
clip. I saw that video.
Yeah.
And all these years, they've thought that it's like, there's some kind of something on the road, a grate or something.
Yeah.
And when trucks travel over it, it vibrates.
Right.
And so they've always said to themselves, they've always thought, well, that's what's making the toy fall. But
Right.
it was always the same toy.
Yeah.
Right? That would
Oh,
fall.
okay, yeah.
So I don't know if it's related or if it is, because of the big trucks that roll by there.
No, because one of the things is that if it was related to that, we heard multiple vehicles driving by. Nothing moved.
But nonetheless, even if it is,
That one toy.
well, the fact that, Emily knows nothing about this, and right away she zeroes in on the toy shelf and the toy falling, so yeah, that was totally a big get.
Yep.
And so in the son bedroom, when we spoke to Angela, I don't think she said anything about this particular bedroom. Because, the bedroom where they think something's in the closet is the one that,
Is the other one.
gets all the attention.
Right.
But in this bedroom, and we played this clip as a preview earlier in the week, this is the bedroom where this clip comes from.
It's not like touching me, but it's definitely close to me.
Remember we had that little disagreement as to what it's saying?
Right.
Because to me it sounds like that's me or it's me.
Uh-huh.
But it's definitely close to me.
And I can't remember exactly what I thought it sounded like. What is this? Do it again?
But it's definitely close to me.
Yes, it's me, or
Yes, it's me.
something to that effect is
Okay,
what you
now
thought.
it sounds
but
like close to me. Oh, it's very,
see, now I've taken the hiss out of it.
close to me.
It still sounds like that's me to me, but maybe it's because I've convinced myself that's what it's
Yeah.
saying. That's me, and this follows.
It's not like touching me, but it's definitely close to me.
Close to me.
Yeah. You said it's not touching me, but it's close to me. That's what you said?
I said it's not touching me, but it's definitely, and then my voice kind of trails
Off, yeah.
Yeah, and then the EVP is close to me.
Yeah.
No, see, to me, that's me. Like, I'm the one. I'm the one close to you.
Okay.
I'm the one not touching you.
I know exactly.
Well, to put it into context, before that happened, she was on the other side of the room, and we recorded this thing on film, on camera, where it's a white object that flies in from the bedroom door toward her. And she starts feeling what I would describe as what...
For me, it felt like I was having like a light burning sensation on my arm. And I obviously didn't know that this was captured on camera. I was wearing the body cam that it was captured on. So it's not like I could see, like in real time, like on a viewfinder or anything like that it was coming towards me, and I had no idea.
And you ruled out bugs.
Yeah, because, it was warm in that house, and we have lots of dust on there. I know there's bugs on there as well, but sorry, Angela. They're flying bugs, okay?
Yeah.
Angela's going, hey!
No shade on your housekeeping, man. Those things are everywhere.
Right?
They're everywhere.
So she then, because of what she felt, she then moved to the other side of the room, the opposite end of the room. And that's where I asked her, how were you feeling? And then she starts describing this. And then shortly that, we got that EVP right after she's, as she says her condition. I think it says it's me. It's confirming that
Right.
I'm the one affecting you. And the interesting thing is that she was getting, we were getting to the point where it was going to be, she's identifying what's there. And at that point, we're starting to get the feeling, the overwhelming impression that it's trying to distract and divert.
Okay.
Didn't want to be found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't want to lead you to the closet.
That's probably what it is.
Okay, so then the room with the closet. Y'all spent some time there. No ghost saying anything captured, but what was the feel there?
So when I walked into that room, I immediately felt like an older woman's presence in that room. And I bring it up to Angela, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my grandma. Like, my son and her were very, very close, and she passed away a few years ago." And I asked her a question. I was like, "So does he get nightmares often?" She's like, "Yeah, he does." And I was like, "Okay, well, I feel her when she's in this room, that she like comforts him while he's having nightmares." Yeah, so that's what I felt in there.
Well, it became an emotional scene at that point. It was an emotional moment for Angela, because after Emily identified what was going on in there. Insofar as the closet is concerned, I think that the grandmother comes back to reassure the son and keeps whatever else is roaming the rest of the house at bay. And the most they're allowed to go into is in the closet area. And so it's kind of, okay, you stay there, you're not allowed to go in here. So because she represents the lighter portion of whatever you want to call it, let's say energy. And this is more of a darker energy. She's keeping that at bay.
Oh, okay. Well, she's being the grandma.
For sure.
She's being protected.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we're supersizing. We're
Okay.
supersizing the investigation results. We'll be right back. And we're going to get to this room, the kitchen, that Ramito writes was the most surprising place in the house because I don't recall it ever came up in any conversation.
No, it
it didn't come up with your conversation, where you just spoken to Angela.
Right.
Didn't come up
She
when we
didn't tell
spoke to
us.
Angela.
Yeah.
Nothing about the kitchen, but yet the kitchen seemed like it was the most active place.
Well, that's where she saw a figure standing in the doorway of the kitchen.
Oh, she did mention that, though.
Did she?
did
Okay, I don't
mention the
remember that.
dark
Okay.
figure. That's right.
But when we proceeded into the investigation, and of course, she told us before, she had told us about seeing this dark figure in the doorway.
Yes.
And she described
Yes.
it as being bald, I believe?
No, she said that he had like a bowler hat on,
There you
I
go.
think.
Oh,
And,
wow.
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and that the only feature that she noticed was like piercing like white eyes.
Oh, dang. All right, we'll be right back, and we'll get some results from the...
Christian mornings.
Happy Halloween.
93.1 KISS FM.
Okay, we're doing the results of the Ghost Hunt My Home investigation. Ramiro Galvan, Emily, I don't even know your last name.
Holguin.
Emily Holguin.
There you go.
She's the empath. They are with Paranormal Research Investigations. So, the kitchen, the most surprising place in the house. Do tell why.
Well, when I first talked to Angela about this, and she had said that she saw one evening as she was standing there at the kitchen sink, to her right is a doorway or an entryway into the kitchen. And she turned and looked and saw this tall figure there wearing what she described as a bowler hat and white eyes. So it was black. Other than that, she couldn't really make out any other type of features. But she said it was a male. So we said, okay, great. So after we set up cameras everywhere, including the kitchen, we stepped outside because, we asked her to turn off all air conditioning, so that to avoid background noise. Mm-hmm. So it was hot inside the house. It was 84.5. And we had the camera in the kitchen running. We had stepped outside to drink some water, take a breather from the hot air inside or in the hot environment. And the camera recorded this interesting noise in there. And I say noise because there's two of them that occurred. And, of course, we weren't aware of that at the time, but then I believe, I remember correctly, the REM pod would go off periodically in the kitchen as well, which is an EMF device. It wasn't until the second team came in, which was Emily, she asked Angela, do you hear footsteps in the kitchen? And, because Emily's pointing out where she feels she's coming from, right, Emily? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I don't remember Angela telling me this either about hearing footsteps in the kitchen. So that's when we went back and we, on the video.
Yeah, I think Angela in the letter and in our conversation, she mentioned footsteps, but never a particular place.
Right.
Right. And that's the thing, you know, I was thinking of footsteps like in the mom's room or maybe the kids' room, but in the kitchen, I was like, but Emily is asking her this, and even Emily went to the same doorway without knowing which doorway it was, because, oops, sorry, I'm getting so excited here. We went to the, Emily walked to the actual doorway she had seen this apparition at. And of course, we hadn't told Emily anything like this at all. So our cameras recorded what sounded like, I can best describe as what sounds like a child's voice initially, and then what sounds like footsteps in the kitchen as we're outside.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, you know, again, we weren't aware of that. And then as we're walking out to change shifts, that's when that's when the camera recorded this voice or voices.
Yeah. This is the clip that I've played earlier this morning. Whole lot of talking going on, and they're not all living, breathing PRI peeps.
Now this.
Go back. What did I do? Poor Jackie. We did the EPCC. Said I go back to 12 different buildings to get myself.
See, this clip kind of freaks me out because you guys are you're really careful to speak in a normal tone of voice, even a loud tone of voice, to avoid being thought of as an EVP.
Right.
Because there's no whispering, there's no, hey, yeah, because you don't want that to be mistaken. So for all of the voices to be at the same level, it's
yeah. And the ones that are not you guys, none of that was heard in real time?
No.
Nothing,
no.
huh?
Because one of the things that we had an internal debate in the team about this voice. And, you know, we had a new member or person that was trying out for the team, and so she was with us that night. And everybody was saying, okay, it's her voice. I had her give me 3 different voice samples with this high, trying to mimic that.
Right.
And she was unable to. And so, and I said, okay, I want you to say this term in these different ways. And none of them matched.
Yeah, and with cameras, you would have seen if somebody was talking at the time as well, right?
Well,
if it was one of you all?
We're all masked up, but here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
There's body.
Okay.
We have body cams.
Yeah.
We have multiple camera station, and that not only the kitchen, but also in other rooms as well.
Okay.
So if it had been anybody else in another room, we would have seen it, but we're all walking out.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, maybe it was Angela. But see, Angela's in the hallway further up.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't sound this close.
No.
Yeah. It's Mike and Tricia mornings on 93.1 KISS FM. That's KSII El Paso. Ramiro and Emily with PRI, Paranormal Research Investigations. This is the results of the Ghost Hunt My Home investigation. One of our listeners' homes, Angela. Here is that clip again.
Go back. What did I do? Poor Jackie. We did the EPCC. Said I go back to 12 different buildings to get myself.
And this is the first of the 2 that is not one of the investigators.
What did I do?
The where is it?
No, the...
She's saying where is it?
See, that's not what it sounds like to me.
What does it sound like to you?
Sounds like prison to me.
Prison? Oh, okay.
But wait, there's more.
God.
There's a twist that's coming up in a minute.
Oh, God.
This is the second of that conversation, the 8-second piece, that is not one of them talking. At the very end.
Oh, no, that's actually Aurora.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's there's another voice right before her that sounds like a child giggling.
I missed that.
Yeah. If you'll hear it, you'll hear that first voice, and then about 2 seconds later, you hear like a little,
Oh,
it's
no.
a child's voice.
See, I totally did. I missed that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I sent the sample, I went ahead and sent the sample also of the investigators talking, so they could be distinguished from the other 2 voices.
Oh, okay. But that whole prison thing,
Well,
it wasn't really prison, was it?
well, when I first heard it, and I passed it on to the team to get their impression. What was your impression initially?
Yeah, initially I heard where is it as well.
Oh, you did? Let me see.
Where
Okay.
is it?
I guess it could be. Where is it?
Yeah.
But it also sounds like prison.
Yeah. Well, I heard it and I was like, okay, I know, it sounds like it's multiple words.
Yeah. Where is it?
Yeah. That's what it
It
sounded
has
like
that
to me.
cadence.
Correct. So I said, you know what? This is something I really don't do very often, but what I did is I actually slowed it down to 52%.
Hang on, let me find the right one.
So while you're looking for that, when I slowed it down and I heard it, I'll be honest with you, I felt the blood drain from my face because I was like, wait a minute. Then I remembered Angela telling us something that transpired next door.
Okay, here it is. Slow down.
Oh, God. Holy cow. Oh, my God.
Sounds not prison.
Oh, my God.
And it's not, where is it? Here it is slowed further down.
Okay, I almost cursed when you played the first one.
What do you hear now?
Poison.
Poison.
Oh, my God.
And here's the twist.
Yep. So when I heard that, I said, I felt just the blood drain from my face. And I called Angela because when we were there, she was telling us, she was mentioning a next door neighbor who had passed away. And she was trying to figure out what's going on in the house as it related to her. Well, turns out that the neighbor next door had passed away from an OD. She committed suicide. And the thing is that Angela, when I asked her more detail on this, she said that she was actually standing outside when they brought the body in. So when I called Angela back to confirm, okay, is this the actual story? She goes, yeah. She goes, the neighbor OD'd, and that's how she committed suicide. But we have no idea what she OD'd on.
Yeah, but what do they usually call that kind of stuff?
Poison control.
Poison.
Oh, my God.
Poison. You put poison in your body when it's drugs or, sleeping pills, whatever it was.
Dude, you know how much I curse? You really should warn me about things like that. Because I almost got us fired. Oh, my God. Holy cow.
And what made you think to slow it down from to...
Well, I kept, first I would hear one word. Then I said, no, it sounds multiple words because it's going so fast. And then finally I just said, you know what, I'll do something that I typically don't do. I'll just slow it down to see if I can pick it up. And I only took one, the one step of slowing it down to 52%. And bam, that's when it came up. And I was like, what the blankety blank?
Holy cow. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So would that account for the footsteps we hear in the kitchen?
Would that account for the woman who was getting ready to scream in the
No,
chair?
because that was an older lady. Was her neighbor an older lady? Did she tell you?
No, she didn't.
No, it doesn't matter. I
Oh,
mean, but maybe
wow.
she's encountered the spirit herself, and she's like, holy cow.
So
Yeah.
what's your conclusion?
I'll let you hear from Emily here on this one here.
Okay, Emily, what did you conclude from this?
Yeah, so my conclusion is that there are two, earthbound energies that kind of stay there. One is initially what I had said was that it was tied to the property or tied to the area, which that would be the neighbor, right? And then the second one is a more negative male, and he was just trying to disguise himself as a child to us. But it was very obvious that it wasn't a child.
That would explain the child laugh.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you think, is that who you think was saying can't, as in don't go in
Well,
there?
actually, to me, that voice sounds female.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, maybe you were getting too close to the male energy.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be, my impression on that one is that she's trying to warn Emily. Because, see,
Right.
Emily was being affected by whatever was that male energy that was there. And there were multiple incidents that something physically affected her. And we would start getting cold spots. The number of cold spots we detected would start to increase the closer she got to revealing who it actually was.
And she's pregnant.
Yeah.
So the female presence is trying to protect the little boy, and she's also trying to protect you.
Yeah, that's a natural conclusion there on that. But the other thing also is that Emily, what did this male figure tell you when you were...
When I was
Get close-
revealing who he
yeah.
was? So when he was standing behind me in one of her son's bedroom, he was appearing about waist height. And But he realized that I was like telling like them like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. And then he like grew taller, like above my head, right? And he reveals himself as a male, and he's like trying to sweet talk me almost. And so I mentioned to them.
That was me, sorry.
Okay, I was going to go, what the heck was that?
So I mentioned, to everybody in the room, like, okay, well, it's definitely a man now. And as soon as I did that, he started like cursing at me and saying that I was stupid. And
oh my God.
I need to basically like shut up and
yeah. And Ramiro, what is your recommended resolution for Angela?
We suspect that it was brought in, this male figure, and based on everything that we have, there was, and talking to Angela later on that evening, it was something that transpired there some time back. And whatever this, after talking with Emily about this, we feel it's somebody that just passed through, liked what was transpiring, and stayed there.
Okay.
You see? And so as time is going on, it's feeding off however they feel there.
Right.
It likes the environment. Okay? Specifically, the fear that is expressed by some of the children and the mothers,
That's fascinating, because in the original letter from Angela, when she submitted to request to investigate the home, she wrote that they never felt like it was a problem until just recently.
Right.
And that's when Angela reached out to y'all initially.
Yeah.
And one of the things we have found is that sometimes whatever's there, they're not good things. They're negative things. They will sense this. They'll sense that somebody's reaching out for help.
Right.
And the end result is that now their presence is felt, their darker presence is felt more strongly.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to dissuade them or discourage them from reaching out for help.
Right. So is there anything Angela can do to fix this?
Well, what we did suggest her was to find somebody who is not only trained but experienced in the metaphysical to help her, remove or cleanse or allow these things to move on, especially the lady. She's trapped there. At least that's my impression, Emily's impression as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And so
The one who said poison.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's trapped there. So she's there not by her own accord. This other darker figure is.
What, can you get rid of the darker figure? Because you don't want to get rid of Grandma then, if Grandma is the one who's protecting everybody from the darker figure.
Well,
So
sorry, go ahead.
grandma, she's actually crossed over, so she's able to move freely between like a higher
okay.
realm and here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's here because she's needed.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So once that's gone, there's no need for her to stay.
Yeah, I mean, it's most likely that she'll come back and check in.
Right.
Sure. But can evil things like that be gotten rid of?
Sure.
Yes, with the right person who
with
knows how
the
to
right-
do that kind of stuff.
Exactly,
Okay.
with the right person. And that's the key right there, because one of the things I stressed with Angela was, if you don't get the right person who is
You'll just
trained
piss
and
it off.
experienced, you're going to piss it off.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Yeah.
you're going to have it turn even more negative.
Oh, my
And it'll actually
gosh.
start coming after people even more.
And
Right.
we have people like that in town that can do that kind of
I'll
stuff?
be honest, I don't know anybody like that. I don't have experience with local people here. The person I used to work with years ago moved out of town, and so
Oh, okay.
basically I'm starting over with Angela. I mean with Angela, Emily here. Sorry. And, but the thing is that we're not trained to do that.
Right.
That's one
yeah.
thing we tell people.
You're
we're
just
not
trying
trained.
to detect them.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Okay.
all we can do is provide guidance for them on what they need to do.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you so much for putting in the time to do this investigation on our behalf.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks for breaking it all down for us, man.
All right. But I really hope you can go back and listen to that child's laugh in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna.
Oy.
I'm gonna. With Trisha. I
No.
will make her.
No.
It's 93.1 KISS
Poison, for
FM.
God's sake.